Good evening, Bev. We know that just after 1:30 this afternoon in Thailand local time, the gunman entered a childcare centre in the Nong Bua Lampu province in northeast Thailand. He went to the Utaisawan Child Development Centre. He was expecting to pick up his child there, and when he could not find his child, he became agitated and opened fire, first killing 4 to 5 of the child care workers there, and then some of the children. The latest casualty numbers that we're hearing, Bev, 34 people died in total. 22 of those were children. There were meant to be more children at the daycare centre today, but there's been flooding in northeast Thailand, so there were some of the children who stayed home today because they simply couldn't get to the centre. We know that the gunman then left the childcare centre and went to his house where he killed his own wife and child before turning the gun on himself. Police have also said that this was a man who was a former police officer himself. He'd been discharged from the service about a year ago on drug-related charges, and earlier today he was in court on a drug-related charge before he went to that childcare centre. He is a 34-year-old man, so 34 people have been killed in this terrible tragedy, Bev, and 22 of those are children.
Yeah, just absolutely awful to contemplate. You mentioned he's a former police officer. I guess it's far too early to have any notion as to what his motive was.
No, just that he became agitated at that childcare centre when he couldn't find his own child. That he'd been at the court earlier on that drug-related charge. It's unclear yet whether he was drug affected at the time of the shooting. All of that information is now being investigated by the Royal Thai Police. The police chief has been in the area and they're throwing everything at this, Bev, to make sure that there is a full investigation into this man's motives, opportunity and the weapons that he had.
How unusual is this in Thailand, this kind of mass shooting?
It's rare, Bev. There is a large proportion of gun ownership in this country that's recorded, and then it's expected that there's even more because a number of weapons can be traded on the border, particularly from somewhere like strife-torn Myanmar. So it's not entirely clear how many guns are in this country, but mass shootings are rare. The last one, and certainly the only very significant one in recent years, was in 2020, when a soldier in the Nakhon Ratchasima province, northeast of Bangkok, went to a shopping centre and killed 27 people and injured 57 others. And that was deeply shocking to Thailand, as is the shooting this afternoon. It just doesn't happen here. There will be absolute disbelief and heartbreak across not only the local province where this happened this afternoon, Nong Bua Lampu, but also across the nation, because people will be devastated that not only has a mass shooting happened, but that it has been carried out at a daycare centre.
Indeed. What reaction have we seen so far?
There's been a swift reaction, of course, from the Thai authorities, police sending all the resources to the area to try to make sure that there is a thorough investigation, and of course to help the families of the victims, of the people who have lost their lives, as well as the families of the children and adults in hospital. The Prime Minister, Prayut, Chan-ocha, has also issued a statement. He said that He's described this as a terrible tragedy and he wants to extend his condolences to the victims, and he has also said that police will do a very thorough investigation here. But there's no doubt that right across Thailand tonight people will be absolutely shaking their heads about how this happened, and I'm sure we can expect an outpouring of support for the people in that community in the days ahead.
Yeah. Mazoe, appreciate you joining us this evening. A terrible night indeed. Thank you.